Episode 14 of Buddy Pass Podcast is now commenced, everybody. Welcome back to the show, presented to you by the Masshole Perspective, like every week. Co-host Chris Rafferty here. I'm going to check in with the boys. Brett Tibbetts, how are you, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How have you been?
Dude, so good.
I went to Dunks this morning, actually, for the first time in a while. A while as in like 6-7
hours.
days. No, it was a good week. And I ordered a small. I was just gonna small coffee. I was just gonna small one today.
Microdose.
And yeah, and they charged me for a small and everything, but gave me a medium.
Dude,
like, okay,
let's go.
I'll take
that happened to me.
I'll take it. I'm not mad today.
Yesterday that happened to me, but I ordered a medium, but I paid for a medium.
And they gave you a
large. And it was this girl there too at the window. She's like, she's new because I know my squad there, but she's new.
Yeah.
And I was low key like, yo, I will throw this Snapchat at you. It doesn't matter.
Did you?
No, I gotta go back. I'm gonna go back. I go there every day. You gotta plant the seed, make the foundation.
Fair enough.
There you go.
You gotta let it. I'm gonna start buying larges to let her know I got money like that.
Oh my god.
Other co-host though, Aiden Crowley. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Celebrated the 21st birthday.
Oh, that's right.
On Sunday a few days ago, which was nice. Nothing crazy, nothing wild, because it was Easter Sunday, of course. So had to be respectful of Jesus. But no, spent time with the fam, with some friends. My girlfriend Emily came up for the weekend. Shout out her. So overall, it was fun. It was a good time.
That's nice. You like how you feeling by the end of the night? Were you with you were with the fam too, right?
Yeah. So
you got to keep it respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you didn't, but
I didn't. What do you mean? For my birthday?
Oh, for your birthday?
Oh, absolutely not. No, you're
you
correct about that. I thought you were talking about your birthday. I was like, yo.
Why do you look behind you?
Because I heard my dad's trying to get into my room right now, bro.
Does he not know how to use the door? Like,
no, I lock it just in case they forget I'm recording.
You have a lock on your door?
I don't have a lock on my bedroom door either.
Yeah, well, usually I'm surprised it's not on the other way, so they can lock me in here. I would do the same if I was a kid.
It was probably supposed to be. They just put the door on backwards.
They flipped it like, you can get out now. No, that's cool. It's
yeah, it was a good time.
We're gonna be up first for everyone listening too. We're gonna have our first live episode. We're all together for the first time this weekend. We're going up to New Hampshire to visit Aiden for his birthday and just kind of a couple Stewie Griffins and post up. The finals for the NCAA hockey is on Saturday, so we're gonna watch that. Live interview during it.
Trade deadline special.
Trade deadline special. It's gonna be a good weekend. We also get to celebrate our buddy's birthday in person. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we got an interview in this week's episode too.
Matthew Gould of the St. John Sea Dogs. He's been my lifetime buddy. Met him in kindergarten, 5 years old. We're at Learn to Skate together, and clearly, I'm the podcaster now. He's playing junior hockey, so you can see we went two different routes. But great interview. I think everyone's gonna like it. We're gonna get to that a little bit later, but I think before that, do you want to start with the hot seat teams like we usually do?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You should go first.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, I picked Buffalo Sabres for the sole reason I was like, they're not going to have a great week by any means. They're going to just finally break the losing streak. And they did that. I said they would just win a game, and they did that.
And they did only win one game.
Yes, they did. I think they also had a overtime loss, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they had 2 overtime losses.
They've lost
overtime/shootout.
Since winning, they've lost 2 in a row. So
yes.
Yeah.
Either way, though, all I said was they're gonna get one, and I think that's the most we can even ask for at this point from them.
Oh, big
and
time.
I got it. I'm gonna count this as a W for me. I'm counting it as a W.
Yeah, no, I think I said when you picked them last week, I was like, for you, Raf, they don't have to go over 500 for the Sabres this week. We'll give them the special.
Them 1 win. I said 1 win.
Just 1 win, yeah, and that counts as a dub.
Shout out to Flyers. All right, Brett. What about you, buddy? How did your team do?
Pretty bad. So
the Tibbetts curse lives on.
Dude, so you know what I realized? I'll get to this after. I'm good at picking hot seat players, but not teams.
You
I'll
are.
get to that in a second. So my hot seat team was the Oilers. They were supposed to have 3 games, 2 against the Habs, 1 against the Canucks. The Canucks one got postponed because that entire organization just has COVID. We'll probably talk about that later too. But the 2 Habs games, they lost 1 in regulation 4-0, nice little shutout, and then lost in overtime in the next game against them, like 3-2, I think it was. So 1-1, tough week.
Yeah,
but
you got boned though in those games. Only 2 games. For the
yeah,
sample
I feel like they
size.
probably could have taken the Canucks one and went like 1-1. But I'll just throw in here real quick. Hot seat player thing. I killed it with Rupe Hins last week, and now Donskoi this week. He played 4 games this week, and in the first one, he came out with a hat trick and an assist, and then the next 3 games, just nothing.
Point per game though, baby.
So, but it was 4 points in 4 games. So,
dude,
yeah.
You're not even picking like Crosby's or Ovechkins or Malkins, like those guys. You go Rupe Hintz and then Jonas Brothers Donskoi.
Joonas, the Jonas Brothers
dude,
Donskoi.
That's impressive. That is very impressive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Most weeks, like right before we record, I just pick a player for my fantasy team.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Donskoi's on my fantasy team. Hintz is on my fantasy team.
It always works
I've
out.
done a couple others. That's why my fantasy team is 10-2.
Team hot seat.
Ooh, I should make that my team name. Anyway, AIDS. Who did you have?
So I had the Preds. They were taking a 5-game win streak into their first of 2 games against the Stars. I predicted they were going to go 3-0 this week, with the other game being against Chicago, but they went 2-1. They split the Dallas series and then beat Chicago. But dude, Preds are on a tear right now. They've won 7 of 8. Starting to pull away from Chicago just a little bit for that 4th spot. They look good right now.
Yeah.
Are they sitting in that 4th spot right now?
Yeah. They are. Them and Chicago are pretty much those 2 teams that are battling for that spot. They've both played 39 games. And now with that win over Chicago, the Preds pulled 2 points above them. So I think that's going to be probably the closest race, that 4th and 5th spot through all divisions.
Yeah.
Which would be exciting to watch. But
that East Division one is going to be tight too.
No, I know.
I feel like even
Flyers
3
and 4, and even the Rangers.
I feel like 3 and 4.
Yeah, and even
like.
I mean, the Penguins are 6 points ahead of the Bruins. Oh, but the Bruins have 3 games in hand, so actually, never mind. That doesn't really matter much.
You still gotta win those games, though. Just because you have games in hand, you gotta win them. So,
and those games against the Penguins become that much more important too.
I think this is a good segue. Actually, talking about the Bruins, we wanted to talk about Jack Edwards.
Oh, we did.
The man, the myth, the fucking legend.
He's been all over social media, like just people talking about how much of an absolute clown he is, or other people feel differently.
I mean, I was gonna chip in on it real quick. I don't know if you were gonna.
You can go. I can go. But I'll go after.
I mean, like I haven't. In the past, I've seen plenty of stuff like calling him a clown, of course. I mean, we all have. But recently, I haven't seen much that's necessarily chirping him. I mean, he's just had a couple rants over the last week or 2 over the refereeing or the officiating in the NHL recently, and which, obviously hasn't been the most consistent. We've talked about that before. Like the one that I saw mostly on my feed, it was probably a week ago, maybe. Was in a Bruins Devils game, I believe, and Krejci just got clearly tripped, and Edwards went off. The Bruins were already on a power play. That trip would have put him on a 5-on-3, and Edwards was like, because they're on a power play, the whistles go away, and all this stuff. And I mean, it was a pretty clear trip. It should have been so
blatant.
Yeah,
trip.
It was probably a textbook trip, but it's. Obviously, we're Bruins fans. We've said that before. So, I love him. I often think about, the day he retires. What the hell is that going to be like watching a Bruins game and not having him commentating?
What are Bruins
that terrifies me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love him. just being a Bruins fan, but like the people who call him like a homer and like biased, it's like the way I think of it, I could be wrong here, is like he's an announcer for a local network.
Yeah.
Like the only people watching games on Nesson are probably rooting for the Bruins.
And do you know
they're,
what?
they're like, so what I was gonna get to was like I don't know what the local network or the local announcers sound like for the LA Kings or the Arizona Coyotes. Like I don't know what that sounds like. Maybe they're not as biased or not as much of a homer as Edwards. They're probably not, but like I just don't think that's an issue if you're on a local network. Like if he's doing that, if he's an NBC Sports announcer doing that, like that might be a little different. But I don't know. That's my take.
Well, I mean, that's a good point because think about the only network he's broadcast on is Nesson, which stands for the New England
yeah.
Sports Network. So all these people calling him a homer. I mean, he's on a
Just
New England
Yeah.
true.
network.
Kind of.
So
I was,
he does Bruins. He does games for the Bruins. Like
because I'll see things online too. Because personally, like I honestly, like, I don't want to say like I'm a fan of it, but like I honestly like don't mind it. Like if anything, I'd rather him be like that than just be like a boring piece of shit, not having any emotion. Like he makes the games enjoyable. Like he adds a fire and energy that you don't really see, especially in a game that doesn't have a lot of like personality.
Yeah.
Or known for not showing a lot of characteristics. But I see Bruins like fans online. I look at they'll have a post for Jack and his whole rant, and I'll look in the comments and be like, I was a Bruins fan, like this is even painful to watch. He's such a homer. And I'm like, oh, boo hoo. He's rooting for your team and wants your
Like,
team to win, dude. Like, why are you such a crybaby bitch?
that's the thing. Like I like if there's someone listening to this that's like, I don't know, from not from New England and watches like Lightning games on like a local Tampa network or something like that. Like I don't like comment on. I'll post this and like comment like, are your local announcers like homers or at least a little bit of a homer sometimes? Like because I don't know, we don't know
Yeah,
what
that's
they're
true.
like. So like, I mean, I'd assume they are a little bit like
At least more on your
weird.
side than the other
It's
team.
just yeah. It's like you said, Raf. It's as a fan, I like it. I like the fire he has under his belt every night. I mean, he's a psycho, but like if I was a San Jose fan and he was the commentator for San Jose being like that, like I'd be fine with it. It's like I don't know.
And I think with Andy Brickley there too as the color guy, he does kind of he offers a more unbiased opinion because he talks about the other teams, blah blah blah. Still a little bit of a homer, but
I like Brickley though.
I love the both of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like I don't get that like what you were saying, Raph, with kids online, people online saying like even Bruins fans being, oh, why are they such a homer? It's so embarrassing, blah blah. Fucking it's on a New England network. I
Yeah.
don't like that argument doesn't make sense. I if he's on NBC Sports Network, fine. Then you have an argument. But he's not. He's on a local network.
But
And I think it's a great energy that he brings. He's passionate about the team. Like, what's not to love about Jack Edwards?
just
Because
play.
if you're Brett, like you said, if you're a San Jose Sharks fan watching on a local network, your guy probably sounds a little bit like Jack Edwards.
Yeah, literally.
I'd assume so. That's what I'm saying. Like,
maybe not as
and if we're totally
senile.
wrong, let us know. Like,
But
Maybe-
I don't
fellas,
know.
fellas, just to play devil's advocate a little bit here, do you think like the way he announces games almost is like secondhand embarrassment to as a Bruins fan because he does kind of like represent us? So like I'm just playing devil's advocate here. So I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
trying to get a
I know.
counter argument. But I feel like sometimes you can make the Bruins fans and locals look bad almost or kind of embarrass us a little bit.
I think
I don't.
no,
I
and
don't feel any embarrassment.
Well, no, I'm just saying it to other people. Take
I
yourself out of your shoes. Like some other people may be like, yo, like you're kind of making us look like,
Okay.
I think everybody hates Boston sports fans anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't really think that it's that big of an issue.
Mhm.
Being a sports fan, I don't really give a shit if people from around the nation don't like Boston fans. I grew up like it, and I don't really
Uh,
care. Boston's a very passionate sports city, and New England in general. Um, so personally, I don't really
uh,
have an issue. I don't feel embarrassed. I just think as a non-Bruins fan, I can see how people are like, this guy's a fucking
mhm.
insane person, which is fair from the outside. Yeah. But you didn't grow up watching him. Like, you didn't grow up listening to this guy, and you're not a Bruins fan. So why would you like him?
That's why I think Jack just like symbolizes like New England, and especially Boston Bruins culture so well because he's just
Yes.
that fiery asshole
Yes.
that's passionate about the team. So like that's why I love him. But I could see why some, at least New Englanders who like the Bruins, granted they may not be originally from New England, may get like a little bit secondhand embarrassment because at times like I could see how to somebody he's a little too much. But personally, I know to us three, like we fuck with him. Jack's my boy. I'll go to war
I
for Jack.
I also I just thought of this point now. Like if oh shit, wait, I kind of slipped. It just like slipped out of my brain. Or no, so
You should catch it.
I did.
Don't
I
let it
did.
fall. Don't let it fall.
Like if other local networks are not or don't have commentators like Jack Edwards, like I think it would be a good thing for local networks to try and find guys that
Oh.
are like that.
Yeah.
For you know what I'm saying? Like, does that
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pick up
Rather
your
than
local
like,
psychopath.
yeah, like if I don't know why I keep using San Jose as the example, but like if if I'm living in San Jose and I'm a Sharks fan,
Big Pacific guy.
like I'd kind of want to turn on the local San Jose network and hear a commentator that's like passionate about my team,
Yeah,
that
that's
makes it more enjoyable. Like when I go to turn on the Bruins game, dude, like when I go to turn it on tonight, like part of me is looking forward to Jack Edwards just as much as like actually watching the game, like
Yeah,
literally. So I like it,
yeah.
love him, but
I think we can get away from this, but point is Jack Edwards is here to stay, and no matter
yeah,
what you say on the internet, he's not
nobody's
leaving.
taking him down. He doesn't
So
give a shit what you say.
a little bit of news around the league. I think this is our first hint at the deadline. Our first little
Our first
tickle,
Rupe hints.
first little tickle of it is Taylor Hall scratched tonight, healthy scratch. This happened to him right prior to being traded from New Jersey to Arizona. We have any signs of a similar case?
I have no idea. I mean, there's been rumors floating around him, for the last couple of weeks now, and um, I think at this point it's just a matter of days,
Mm.
you know, where he's going to end up. I've heard Toronto, I've heard not as much, but a little bit of Colorado rumors.
Yeah.
I've heard Edmonton, a trip back there, which I personally, for Taylor Hall, I think would be the best option to go back to Edmonton.
I
For
was
him
gonna
in his
say that.
career,
Yeah.
I think that would be his best move. Obviously, he probably isn't going to have much say.
Literally.
But just to name a few, those are some of the teams. So it'll be interesting because I know Buffalo's got a lot, like a high asking price right now, and people are
Mhm.
kind of laughing at that. Um, and
Makes-
Raf, you even made the good point. It was yesterday, I think,
mhm.
that no real trades are going to happen until that Hall trade to kind of set the market value.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta set the market value. The GM that makes that first at least
Yeah, I guess
substantial move is
yeah.
gonna set that market value. So who knows? Taylor Hall could get traded for a first and a second, maybe a prospect, and then other guys get more value.
Mhm.
If he only goes for a second and maybe a prospect, then that teams are gonna be looking to buy because the market value is so low right now. So I think Taylor Hall is gonna be the deciding factor on a lot of moves that GMs make because that's what I don't know though. I don't know what they're gonna set it at. I think they're gonna budge. If I had to guess, I think they're asking too much right now as a
Oh,
bluff. They're gonna
100%.
show their hand first, and I feel like market value is gonna be. But you also have to take into account the quarantine and everything, and then the team coming in next year and the expansion draft. That's why I think this is gonna be a really really weird trade deadline.
It is gonna be weird.
Do you think that Hall gets traded before we record our deadline special on Saturday?
No, I don't
Really?
Ooh,
think
I was
so.
gonna say
You
definitely.
you think they'll go because the deadline's Monday? You think
Yeah,
he'll
Today's Tuesday. We're recording Tuesday. I bet he goes by Friday afternoon. The latest.
I would say Saturday's the earliest for me. That would be my earliest.
Whoa.
Really? I was
Yeah.
thinking like
Okay.
Thursday.
I think it's going to be a
Friday.
frenzy this weekend. I think all these teams are going to wait till as much time as that mark. I don't think anyone's going to move as.
But I feel like
as long
Hall's
as
going to
they
be that
can.
first one to go. Or I hope. I
Well,
mean, I
yeah,
hope
but
he
they
is.
don't want.
But-
They're trying to get a rebuild almost going again and get some
Yeah.
pieces. Like they
Interesting.
don't want to get. They don't want to lose a guy like that and not get all they can get and milk every asset they could
I
out
mean-
of him. So I think it's going to start Saturday, maybe a couple smaller trades on Friday, and I think Sunday night we're going to be on our phones all night seeing trades.
Yeah. But
That's my opinion, though. I'm no insider. I'm doing a podcast. That's me at home doing
No,
remote
I-
school. So I mean, don't listen to me if you don't want. I don't care.
I definitely think Hall will be the first one to move from the Sabres.
Oh, big.
You
yeah,
know, whoever
absolutely.
else they move, Hall will be the first to go. Because I mean, I think it was Elliot Friedman said this morning that I'm trying to blank on the name of the GM in
You were having a
Buffalo.
hard time over there today, huh?
Just the name of the GM in Buffalo. What's his fucking name?
Isn't it like starts with like a P? Patera?
Doesn't matter. The Buffalo GM said that Dylan Cousins and Rasmus Dahlin are the only untouchables, really.
Smart though.
Wait, who was
like Dylan Cousins and Rasmus
Oh,
Dahlin
okay,
are
that
like
makes
the
sense.
only untouchables. Everyone else he'll hear out for.
Yes.
Um,
Kevin Adams.
Oh.
Not at
is
all
the
what I
GM.
thought it was.
Oh, I think the owner is like Patera or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think you're right.
I don't know.
Because he's new, right? Isn't he in like one of the newer owners in the league?
I
I have
believe
no idea.
So I don't know.
Yeah, because he was crying. I remember like when he got the team, you know, had his press thing. He was like dead ass crying,
Wait, like
Tears of joy.
Who
Yeah,
knows,
I'm
man?
joking.
At that point, it was probably joy. Now he probably cries himself to sleep at night.
but another player scratched tonight in that same game because Buffalo and New Jersey are playing each other tonight is Kyle Palmieri.
No way, really?
Yeah,
Give
he
him to the
scratched tonight.
Bruins.
He
Give him to
scratched
the
tonight.
Bruins.
So it was I saw it was the biggest like front runners for Palmieri right now is Bruins, Leafs. I think the Avs might have been in there and like one other team. But it was definitely Bruins, Leafs, and at least one or two others.
I'm gonna keep
are
Twitter
in the front running for
open.
him. But dude, I know I mentioned it to you guys the other day, and I mean we'll probably talk about this more in our trade deadline special. But I mentioned it the other day, and you guys agreed with me. Is I think Palmieri would fit perfectly on a line with Coyle and Bjork there. Say DeBrusque gets moved in the trade too.
Hopefully, kid sucks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I want him to move.
I want him
DeBrusque.
out of here. I want Jack Edwards to drive him
It's
to the
just-
airport, to Logan Airport, and throw his bags on the flight for him.
Yeah, that's one piece that I think is attainable for the Bruins to get, and
Mhm.
that they really should. I thought they would maybe do it last year. I was hoping they would,
Mhm.
but they didn't. So hoping
Well,
they do it this year.
AIDS, you wanted to talk about you had some news regarding like the COVID protocols in the league before we started recording.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Vancouver.
we briefly touched on the Canucks a little while ago. But they have dude, their games are going to be postponed indefinitely here. They have up to 17 guys on the list. So COVID is sweeping through that organization right now, which really sucks.
Yeah.
And I was reading something on Instagram maybe the other day, a quote from some higher up media guy, whatever, that pretty much said, like, you know, whether or not the Canucks actually get 56 games in this season is kind of up in the air. You know, because these 17
Really?
guys like this, there's no telling how long some of these guys are going to be on this list.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about how different COVID hits everyone. Some of these guys
Yeah.
could have a positive test, quarantine for 7 days, and then be fine and be negative and move on. But some of like other guys could have this for 3-4 weeks. You know,
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see. It sucks because I thought the Canucks could somehow scrap their way into the playoffs, but that's something we'll have to keep an eye on.
I saw about the Canucks situation. I saw a tweet. I think it was at some point yesterday on Twitter. I forget who it was by, but they had the number at 20 guys. I know you said
Really?
up to 17. I saw one that said it was 20, and it said some of
Jeez.
them, not all of them, but some of them had pretty severe symptoms like vomiting. Like,
Well,
I'm not to get gross, but yeah.
Well,
So
part of life.
some of them,
We'll bleep it out.
it could it could only be like three or four of them, but some of them I think do have it pretty bad. So
yeah. Well, that sucks, dude. That
it is
sucks.
weird. Canada was just perfect the whole year.
I
and
know.
then-
I know.
And then there was like the Oilers and Canadians, the
Yeah.
first one to go like last week.
I think it's only
that was-
been, I think it's only been Montreal and Vancouver are the only ones that have had the issues, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
only
yeah.
been those two teams.
But I mean, it was just Montreal's was like, I mean, they're already back to playing. Theirs was just
Yeah.
like a couple, maybe even false positives, and then all of a sudden Vancouver just
yeah,
blows up, dude. So I mean, that's the worst one we've seen yet.
Well, all right, everybody. I think this is a good time to throw it over to our interview. Again, Matt Gould, St. John Sea Dogs forward. I think this is a good one, everyone. You're going to enjoy it. So, yeah, thank you. Everybody, we have a very important guest here today, a Weymouth, Massachusetts native alongside myself, current St. John Sea Dogs forward, Matthew Gould. How are we, buddy?
How's it going? Thanks
Pretty-
for having me on, boys.
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
It's been a
course.
process in the making. We've been talking about this since I think I started this podcast with the fellas.
Yeah. First pod, so I've been wanting to do one too. So thanks for having me on, boys.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You got to get on the wave. But before we get into the talks a little bit, like what you been up to in terms of just life and hockey. What are you doing?
Yeah, just chilling. I just got back from Virginia. Played in the USPHL Premier League. Played the 8 games. So I was trying to get back to St. John this year, but with COVID and stuff, I couldn't get over the border. And you can only have 3 overagers. So like I'm a 20-year-old, my last year of juniors, and they signed another guy, so I couldn't get over there, and so I just played 8 games for the Hampton Roads Whalers in the USPHL, and then we lost in the playoffs. It was just one round. It was a best of 3 series. You guys see the Mississauga?
See what?
Mississauga. It was like the
Oh yeah, the Mississauga. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
was that there?
Michigan. That team beat us in the playoffs. So I just
Oh shit.
yeah,
Oh
Awesome.
shit.
bunch of assholes those guys are.
Yeah, dude. If you tried that on you got to put him into the boards right behind the net, dude. I mean,
It was. I got kicked out of my last junior game.
Well, that's something
We
something
were
that
gonna
we
bring
were
that
just
up.
talking about before we hopped on the pod here. So we were looking through your elite prospects profile, and in those 3 playoff games, it has you listed with 33 PIMs.
Yeah, you think about that, like
that's the how.
What
Like,
happened
how?
in those games?
We're thinking about it. You got to explain it to us.
that's what I'm saying. Like obviously some of them are penalties for sure. I was giving some guys some cross checks behind the play and stuff, but like, these refs were out to get me, man. 33 times in 3 games. Like,
They were just salty. You came in out of nowhere, just hopped on the team and just started dominating. But I was gonna go off of that too and just be like, get into the questions now of like, we did learn to skate together. And now look at us. You're playing junior hockey and I'm a podcaster. So we went 2 different directions clearly.
Yeah.
But growing up, you're always a point guy, you're doing all that. And then, when you were playing with the Sea Dogs, you were telling me how you're a PK guy, a special teams guy like that. How does that impact you as a player, that transition from a point guy to like a PK guy who's making himself known around the league for being a special teams player?
yeah, like always growing up, played for the Junior Bruins. Got drafted by Sioux Falls, and I went out to play in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for my senior year in high school. And that's in the USHL. And dude, it was like the biggest jump ever. Like you go from being the guy to like no one. Like it's a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, it must be like a shell shock kind of like.
Yeah, man. Like I'm getting scratched. Like I've never been scratched.
Good thing they can't scratch you in high school hockey. I would have probably beat you there.
Yeah. And that's kind of what started like the whole like PK thing. Like honestly, I think I'm just like a PK specialist. That's quality in hockey.
That's a thing teams will look at though. Like, you were telling me people around the league were talking about it too. Like you need that.
Man, there's guys in like the show who just like are on teams so they just want to face off.
Yeah. Jay Beagle got paid $3 million to win faceoffs.
Yeah. Patrice Berger, I mean, he can do everything.
Yeah, but he's known for it.
It's intangibles. It's intangibles. It starts with the little stuff.
The little stuff.
But yeah, so boys, you have a question for him?
Who needs a PK guy from here?
Yeah, well, we'll plug his email, his business card in the post we make for Gouldy, so you guys can hit him up.
Only PK, though. Don't put me.
Do you boys have a question for Gouldy?
I mean, I was just curious between playing in the Q and like the USHL. I mean, Raph told me you've played against guys like Jack Hughes, Alexis Lafreniere. I was just wondering, like, I mean, none of us have really ever played against guys at that level. So like, what's it really like playing against like them? And like at the time you played them, like were they like, big prospects already? And like just pretty much what was that like playing against guys like that?
I was playing Jack Hughes. I was in Madison. We got traded my second year in the USHL to the Madison Capitals. And then we played him. That was his draft year. Like, that was Caulfield, Zevius, like, on the like, dishing it, like, absolutely saucing the ground.
Are they just like leaps and bounds above everybody at that age?
Yeah, I'm watching like the draft and I see myself playing D on a 2-on-1 against Jack Hughes and Cole Caulfield.
Oh my God.
Screen time though. Screen time.
Yeah.
Scout's gonna be looking at that and be like, "That's a PK specialist."
Last guy back.
Yeah.
No, but like, yeah, dude, crazy. They beat us 11-2. We played them in a doubleheader. Beat us 11-2, and then we actually beat them 5-3.
Wow.
Bars and Uwisco and screaming Jack Hughes and so.
Does it kind of like, I guess, make you mad almost when guys like Jack and Lafreniere get to the league, don't really have that like McDavid rookie season, and then people are calling them bust because you've played against guys like this and you know how great they are?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, man, laugh. Like, I played against him last year. That was his draft year. Like, I thought he was gonna be the best draft pick. I just thought he would be doing better than he is. You know?
Yeah.
No way he's a bust. Like,
no shot. Yeah.
Shot, but like at the same time, like, I don't know why he's not in the next. I don't know if New York. I don't know if he's right.
So many things can go wrong, but I was also doing a little digging on you last night too, and I remember people putting on their stories back home, but you're kind of a scrapper too, dude. I was watching this one hit. Your buddy just gets absolutely just bone crushed from center ice, and without even blinking, your gloves are off, your helmet's off, and you're attacking this dude. One besides how unreal that is, what's it like your first fight, like your first junior hockey fight? What were your thoughts and emotions?
Man, you just gotta like drop him first and just go.
Jumped him. You jumped this guy.
I jumped that guy. Like that, I should have been arrested. But like, like my first fight, like I dropped him first, but like it's all footwork too. Like that's my like biggest thing in fighting is like my footwork. Like, you can take a few punches, like, but like if you fall first, you're done.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, dude, you held your own, and growing up too. Obviously everyone know how crazy your speed is, but then out of like honestly nowhere, you just shut up and you grew.
Yeah.
How did that help your game?
That was crazy. I mean, like, so my sophomore year, like, made to Providence, like, I was just so, like, I was going to national camp, and I was doing so well, like, got an agent there, and from there, like, everything just took off, like, made to Providence, drafted USHL, drafted St. John, like, everything. Like, without that, like, agent, like, I don't think I'd be where I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that, to kind of build off that, is that like that little growth, or not, maybe not little growth spurt, but that kind of boost in size? Is that kind of where your game took off? Like is there is there a point in like any of your careers wherever you played where you're like, shit, like I can really do something here or make something of myself?
Yeah, probably like my first U18 season. So like my freshman year of high school, like I was just fast, man.
Yeah.
Like faster than like I was the fastest guy in the country for my age, like 100%. I'll put that down. Like,
I'll put my money on it. I seen this kid at recess in elementary school. I'll put my money on it.
yeah, like I don't know, like I don't even really remember myself growing. I don't really.
I don't either,
Yeah.
dude. You just out of nowhere just shot up.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know. I was going to EPS, like going to the gym, like I was like, like trying every day, like I was trying. And I'm
Funny,
like,
that's where our last interviewee works as EPS, Dickie Coyle.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's an EPS guy. See, we're all connected here.
oh yeah.
One big happy family.
No, I couldn't hang with EPS. That's a good.
They do go pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I also wanted to talk about the 17th select tournament when you got selected to Team USA.
Yeah,
So that was a 5 nations tournament, correct?
5 nations. Yeah,
How was that first experience of kind of like, I mean, you're representing your country at that point.
yeah.
How was that whole experience at such a young age?
That was sick. So that was my second national camp. Made the team, had the time of my life. Like that was probably when I like took off. Like
Yeah.
took off. Like, and I mean, dude, yeah, like those guys, some of those kids I was playing with, like they'll be in the show in like 2 years. Like Blake McLaughlin, like,
Hmm.
he plays at University of Minnesota. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, dude, that USA was crazy.
Yeah, can you give us a couple of names to look out for in the next draft or two? Any prospects that
In the next draft, I mean, I could like these guys coming up, like Jack St. Avenue's on BC. He's drafted by Philly in the second round, I think. He'll be there soon. I mean, how about Hardy? You guys hear about Mike Hardman? He's a local guy.
No, I only know
No.
about Matt Berniers.
What do you say?
Matt Berniers, is that how you say it?
Beniers, yeah.
Matt
Berniers?
Yeah, dude, that kid. Is it his draft year this year?
Yeah,
This
it's like
summer, yeah.
him, Kent Johnson.
Dude,
Luke
those
Hughes.
guys.
is
Yeah.
legit. Nah, let me think. The Sea Dogs just got. I mean, I played with Josh Roy, who was the #1 overall pick in the Q last year.
Oh my
So
God.
his draft year, I don't know if it's this year or the next year, but he's going to be a really good player. Very solid. So Josh Waugh.
What about that Connor Bernard kid? Like, have you ever seen him in person? I know he's 15, but still.
Yeah.
We played against Bernard. He was playing up with that Jack Hughes team for NTDP when we played. Like he was just playing up with them.
So what was he, like 13 at that time?
He was like
14?
14, 15. He must have been
That's psychopath, dude. Oh my God.
that kid's nasty. He's gonna
Yeah. Because he's in the dub right now because he got the exceptional player status. Do you think he's gonna be like, like the John Tavares exceptional player status turnout, or do you think he'll be?
Yeah, he must. Right? I thought, dude, are we thinking of the same guy right now?
I don't know. I think
Connor Bernard.
Bedard.
Bedard. It's
Bedard.
Oh,
Bedard.
fuck.
We're talking about Matty Berniers.
No,
I kind of
Connor.
switched gears.
Yeah. You brought up Bedard and he thought we were still talking about Beniers.
That's my fault. That's my
Well,
fault, everybody.
both of them, they're both sick.
yeah,
yeah.
they're both gonna be sick.
Yeah.
But Bedard, like you said, Raph, he's 15 now playing in the
I've never
WHL.
played against the draft.
Oh, gotcha. That's my fault.
I think he'd be too young.
Still a kid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I want to switch gears a little bit too to a question I've been meaning to ask you for a very long time, Gouldy, is the chicklets up front, the 2 front teeth.
Oh yeah,
I need a story about that because I think you may have told me once, but I completely forget it.
this is a crazy story. So we were getting pretty crazy Super Bowl Sunday in St. John, and we're out at the bars, like pretty sure it was snowing out, like it was icy. So like I definitely had a few too many, but I could still walk,
Yeah.
And get out of the bar. I just hit the deck, slipped on the ice, man, like, and my teeth just hit the pavement.
Dang.
Oh,
Can you feel it? Or are you too like,
I didn't even feel it. Like I was just like, no way. I wake up and I thought it was a dream. Like I just felt my teeth. I was like, holy shit.
because I got a FaceTime from our buddy Stark, and he goes, "Dude, did you hear what happened in Gouldy?" I go, "What happened?" He goes, "He FaceTimed me this morning, hand over the face, pulls his face down or his hand down, and all I see is his two front teeth are completely chipped." I'm like, "Dude, what?"
Crazy. So then I'm thinking, I got to go to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the boys, like, no, like this didn't happen in practice. Like, like so. First couple of days, like I'm like hiding my jibs, like not smiling, whatever. Like, and then I think like it was me, my roommate, a few other guys on the team. We just decided to like just fake it in practice. So like someone stick me, and I just went down. And I think it was my roommate that took the blame for it, and that's how we played it off of the coaches.
so obviously you've had a year under your belt in the Q, and I feel like there's a preconceived idea of what it's like to play in the Q, but is that like going into that season, did you have any expectations? Was it any different than you thought it was going to be? Like, what is it like playing in that like junior A level in Canada?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of nailed like my thought process going in. I pictured it perfectly. Like I thought it was gonna be the best thing. It was legit the best junior hockey season of my life. Like I wish I went there over the USHL like 100 times. Like it was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
But you couldn't at the time though, right? Because of the rule where if you play juniors,
like,
you can't.
growing up in the U.S., like it's just college hockey.
Yeah.
Like up there, it's just like NHL.
Yeah.
Different motives.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But that league, man, it's a fun league to play in. Dude. Get to go to some sick places, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yeah. What are some sick cities you visited up there?
Halifax is my favorite city. That rink too is sick. Like they'll have their whole fans like just cheer, like singing the national anthem, like to the top of their lungs, like 10,000 people.
Damn.
Wow.
That's insane.
Crazy. And
Is that
game winner shorthanded?
PK specialist, baby.
Attaboy.
Oh, the hair's going out the back too.
Yeah, dude. That's probably. I think that's the best goal I've ever scored at that rink. But Halifax for sure. Cape Breton's a pretty cool place. Quebec City was insane. They built a rink for the Quebec Rempart. Well, no, it would be the Quebec Nordiques. So they thought they were going to get the NHL team, and they built this huge rink. And now the Quebec Remparts and the Q just play in this rink. Like they're getting
I didn't know that.
2,000 fans a night, and it's like half the rink.
Is it like buzzing like maybe like a Vegas or a Nashville type stadium? Like is it that much buzz?
It's like a big. It's like looks like it's like a football rink. Like it was insane.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That is fucking crazy.
That.
Goody, I wanted to talk to you about like a maybe not so hockey topic right now. I would consider you a pretty big Twitter presence.
Oh yeah, dude.
You're a big Twitter guy for a while now. And I always want to like let people back home know like what's going through your head. Like when you hop on Twitter, what are your motives? What are you thinking?
I'm just whatever comes to my mind really. And then just like throwing like crazy, I don't even know. Like,
because I'll be reading them. I'll be reading your tweets. It could be a Wednesday at like 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'll read your tweets. I'm like, how does he think of what he's saying right now?
But like they make sense in the end.
Oh, it does, and that's why like I'm tossing likes and retweets because they just geek me out. But like,
but I mean, the whole Twitter thing started when I was in high school and I made the fucking three shot. Right?
Yeah, we gotta let people know. So I was our sophomore year. All of a sudden, Gouldy, I mean, he's kind of always loved the dance and the hip hop and the culture like that.
Yeah.
He makes a dance, and it starts out from one story, Snapchat story, and it turns into this whole thing until it gets on the news. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah.
What?
Pretty much made a Twitter account with my boy Cam Gibbs in the library. Just threw out this crazy move where you just like put your hand in front of your face, and then like whole school just started doing it. Like we got like 3,000 followers overnight. Like
Wow.
next thing I know, like everyone's getting suspended, and like a teacher, like our security guard broke her hip or something. Like I don't know what happened.
Trying to break up a scrum,
Yeah.
My
a
God.
movement.
During the end of this, I actually had training camp in Sioux Falls, so I go to Sioux Falls, and I'm just running this Twitter account from like a different state, telling people like when to go to the hallway to like dance.
They look at you to like dance. You're like, I'm not dancing for you, dude.
Yeah, and then the news came. Like it was crazy. It was a pretty crazy thing. That's
So I
where
remember.
the whole Twitter presence came from. I think.
Yeah, I remember Town Cup. That was during that like kind of summer end of the thing too, and
Yeah.
it was still big. And I remember just like I had no reason being there, but I still was. Scored the opening goal, and I face shot. I have a picture of just me, just like that is face shotting. But
Congratulations. So.
going off the Twitter too, like, do you hope to get into maybe like a media type thing, or maybe make content for something someday? Like, is that maybe where the Twitter presence comes in?
Yeah, I think I would honestly. Like I really just I like just making up nonsense and throwing it out
It's a figurizing thing, dude. Like people like, they'll read your stuff and it's like it's enjoyable to read and it's like, it's a geek out, but it's also like people want to keep like it gets to a point where people are like, I hope Gouldy tweets something right now.
Dude, sorry, I'm scrolling through your Twitter for the first time right now. I think Aiden is too. And I'm like holding back laughs, bro.
They're unreal.
This is a geek, dude.
It's the KFC ones, dude. Those are the
I just
fucking
wait,
best
yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
That's just because I live like behind. I could like open my window right now and just order. And
I'm trying to
Just
bring
shout from the
50
window.
people back to KFC all in green. # billions of dollars.
Like, dude, they're just
I was
nuts.
with Raph. We actually talked about this podcast when I tweeted that.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude.
word.
We'll just be
wild.
chilling. Like sometimes, like we'll be chilling and a couple, Stewie Griffs here and there,
Yeah.
and Gouldy will go quiet for 5 minutes, and I'll be like, "Yo, Gouldy, like, what's up?" I'll check Twitter. He's just tweeting, just absolute nonsense. I'm
Your
like,
fingers
okay,
are just going, dude.
oh, they're going.
It's like one a day. Do you have like
Yeah, it's
Is this-
literally.
Yeah.
you got like one-liners every day. It's fucking unreal.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, you should definitely get into like some media. You said you wanted to start a pod too.
I would start a pod. I don't know, like I mean, this is my first one, so we'll see how people like it. So.
Yeah, and you could get your own thing going, dude. And it's like, we
Yeah.
could always plug in and stuff like that, or
I definitely don't want to work like a 9 to 5 though.
nah, no
Fucking
one.
9 to 5, bro.
Once we make millions off this, we'll help you out and we'll all make millions. We'll all be rich together. But you guys have any more hockey questions for Gouldy?
Brett, did you want to go? Because I have one more, but you can go.
I think we might have the same one left. You can go.
Well, so I mean, you kind of like already answered it because you talked about how great it was playing in the Q.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask because you've played for a bunch of different teams and a bunch of different leagues. I was gonna ask like what your favorite team was or like your best experience playing. But it sounds like the Q was, unless I'm.
Yeah, no, the Q was, but I think if I went into my first season in the USHL with a different mindset, I think it could have been one of the best years. Like that was my draft year. Like, I mean, I wasn't getting the best grades. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of went there. I was just thought it was gonna come easy, kind of, and it didn't. But like, dude, we were getting 12,000 a night. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
It's like I think it's like if they had they had the same, like, if that rink was in college hockey, it would be the number 3 like capacity size for
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So like, was that kind of maybe like the first, like, I guess, taste of reality just because of how hockey just came so natural to you growing up? Was that kind of like the first, like, let's take a minute here moment?
Yeah, definitely the first taste of reality. I got traded my last day of training camp to pretty much the worst team in the USHL in Madison. But like the coach, I think he was just trying to help me out. Like he was from Madison, he was trying to do the right thing. But like in the end, I wish I could have stayed there. But Madison is unreal too. You're in like the number 3 party school in the U.S., University of Wisconsin too. Like off the ice, great time. On the ice, getting bagged by Ryan Suter's brother.
All the footwork though.
Yeah.
Dude,
But
you have to do 55-second drills or 45. I forget what. I think it was 55. Where it was down the rink and back 3 times. You had to get it in under 55. If one guy didn't get it, we'd have to go again. And like one morning, we just 10 55 in a row.
Oh,
how many people are you can after that?
Dude, a bunch. One kid. It was actually his nephew. This didn't happen the year I was there, but so they got back from a road trip. They just got killed, and it's like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and they get off the bus, and the coach, same coach, it's Ryan Suter's brother, and he's a good guy. He's young, crazy, and he just tells them to put their gear on and get on the ice. And his nephew's on the team, Brandon Suter. He's 99, good guy, and like 255s in, Suits is like on the ground, like holding his hip, or like I think he tore his labrum. That's what he did. Tore his labrum, and he's like, I can't skate, and like the coach is dragging him like down the ice, pretty much, like screaming at him, making everyone go again because Suits can't even stand because this guy has a torn labrum at 4 a.m. Like,
Jesus.
23 55s later.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I bet you sweated all the beers from the night before.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I don't really have like. I mean, I just
I
talk
was
hockey
gonna-
so much.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
ask, like, for any like high school aged kid listen to this, if they're planning on playing junior hockey, whether that's in the US or Canada, like what are just some of the biggest pieces of advice you'd give to someone like that?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely don't go too early. Like I could have stayed another year and just played U18 or something. I think I went a little too early, but like you want to get the most ice time, most like puck touches in a season. Like you don't want to be scratched every other game. Like, if you're gonna go play junior hockey in like tier 1 junior A, like you got to make sure you're playing every game. Like you're getting those touches because you're not gonna grow as a hockey player if you're not getting those touches.
Yeah.
That seems like a common theme. Like when we ask people that question is, people tend to think, oh, I want to play the best level right now. But, the common thing is development and really taking time to like master that craft of yours.
And being prepared for it, I feel like too.
Yeah.
I just went in there just like this, thinking it was gonna be easy.
It's not, dude. And honestly, I just completely forgot my question. I'm just so off the rocker right now after forgetting how to record.
Seasoned vet.
Yeah, literally, dude. Stay hot, Raf. I mean, Goldie too. Like, I think I actually just remembered my question. My fault. Would you ever think about maybe playing overseas? I mean, hockey in like Japan and overseas is growing rapidly now. All right, would you ever consider it?
For sure, like I think that's my ultimate. Obviously, NHL, hopefully someday. But like, yeah, overseas definitely my ultimate goal. Like in the Dell or something, like that'd be sick.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Like overseas is the way to go. Hopefully all this COVID shit happens. But next year I also have free Canadian college hockey. So
That's true. I mean, free education, dude.
yeah, so I think I might do that too. But yeah, I just want to keep playing, you know,
Yeah, man.
make it around, make some good connections in these games.
And who knows? Like, you do that in Canada, or you go overseas, and then, you mix that passion of like media and content that you love.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a guy from a different country that's coming here playing hockey with media, and
Yeah.
kind of like a polarizing figure. People would love that.
yeah. Chucky Slick.
That's literally, dude, when they were asking
You
me
said that before, dude.
Yep.
they're like, dude, like, how is this? Like, I've never met him.
I was like, I don't even know what this kid looks like.
I was like, all right, imagine Chucky Slick if he's from Weymouth. And they're like, oh, okay.
I got it now.
Yeah. So yeah, dude. I mean, that's always definitely an option. And like, would you ever consider to maybe going like a coaching route or like a scouting agent type of route too? Like, just at least you're still like in the game and involved.
Yeah, for sure. I think I want to stay in the game. Yeah, I think I don't know about coaching, like agent. I feel like I could find some good talent out there.
Yeah.
I was actually just watching a pod with Spitting Chicklets, Tim Staples. I was trying to get myself fired up for this.
I know. I was like,
for
listening.
inspiration.
That guy lived a life. That guy.
Yeah.
He's been a suitcase. He just goes everywhere. But hey, he played overseas and eventually got to play in the NHL.
Exactly. Like that's
It's always a grind. It's gonna be a grind no matter what.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, I think we honestly blasted through questions.
yeah, we did.
We went rapid fire. I thought this was gonna be longer, but
It was good
we're
though.
yeah, I honestly had a blast.
We did,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure. Thanks for having me.
No, of course you gonna come on again. You're gonna
I
big
will.
dog us.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
He
come on
has to
again.
come on again.
Maybe
We'll make
maybe an in-person one in the future.
an
I'll
in-person
say.
one would be
yeah.
unreal.
In the
At some
fall.
point.
In the fall.
Definitely have to get the first one out of the way. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the nerves out of the way. But everybody, this is Matty Gould. Thank you, buddy, for coming on. Second guest ever. Can't wait till the next time. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah. Best of luck with the future, man.
Best of
Yeah,
luck.
good luck.
So yeah, everyone, that was Matt Gould. I had a lot of fun with that interview. I've like I've said, I've known the kid forever, and I even learned some things I didn't know about him, which I think is one of like the more fun parts about interviewing guys is learning things about them. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on the interview?
I loved it. He was he's a care. I didn't know what to expect out of him.
Yeah,
No, because I've just heard like little hockey stories
Yeah.
from you. So to hear it from the horse's mouth was kind of fun.
analogy
Yeah.
guy.
Just
Coming
like
for your spot.
hearing some input from a guy that's played at that high of a level and against guys at that high of a level was pretty interesting. I've never really known anyone that's played that high, so
Yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely got to get him back on.
for sure.
I think we all started a little nervous too. We're new to this interview thing, and so is most of the people we're interviewing. So next time around in person,
Yeah.
we'll get some stupid grips flowing before. But yeah, boys. Now back to the topics. AIDS, you wanted to bring up the Blues, right?
Yeah, because they're terrible.
Yep.
They're so bad. So yeah, I wanted to bring them up just because there was an article written about them like yesterday, today, whatever, talking about like Doug Armstrong, and he's like, this team's got to be better. So I was doing the math too, dating back to I think it was like March 6th. They've played 14 games. They went 2-8-4. And only in one of those losses did they score more than 2 goals. They scored 3. So they
Whoa.
even though they've got Tarasenko back, he's been back for a couple weeks now, they just cannot score a single goal.
Jeez.
That's and I'm not sure if like what the situation is with him at the moment, but it was maybe 5, 6, maybe a week ago. My timing could be off. Hoffman was scratched. He was a
Yep.
healthy scratch, and he's supposed to be a goal scorer, but
Yeah.
hasn't been, obviously. So
And Bennington has had a really shitty year.
He's been rattled all year long.
Yeah,
My,
Mister. Do I look nervous?
Yeah, you do.
Clown. You
My,
clown.
my buddy Luco has Bennington on his fantasy team in our league, and like every other day I just get a text from him like, what the fuck is Bennington doing?
Dude, he's such a clown. He had this stone cold figure the year they won the cup because he played really well for like 4 or 5 months. Dude, like piece of shit now.
Yeah.
All your hype is gone. You're a clown.
He just got paid too.
I know.
What was it, like 5 for 5, something like that?
I thought
it
it
was
was
like
6 by 6.
6 by
5 for
6,
6, something like
or
that.
5 by 6. It's 6 a year.
Either way.
But I don't know
he's
what's going on there.
Bennington's a little crybaby.
Yeah. Oh, like that little
That
hissy
little
fitty
episode
threw a few weeks
he had.
ago against
Yeah,
the Sharks.
What the fuck is
Just
that?
like for no reason. I was like, okay, dude. Did
I
he
wanted
get,
to see a
like,
fight. I wanted to see him.
did he get pulled from the game and
Yeah.
started doing that?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's even
Uh,
worse. I
He's
thought it
a
was
little-
maybe like after a game or something. But
Nah.
like, dude, you get pulled after he probably let in like 5 or something to
Yeah.
get off the ice.
Yeah, so I just wanted to
Embarrassing.
bring them up because they like that was a team that had high hopes for this year, and in the beginning of the year, like they looked okay without
Mhm.
Tarasenko the first 2 weeks of the season, and then they just they dipped.
They
Tanked.
that cup run, well, when they won the cup, Tarasenko was out for that whole thing, right? Or did he come back towards
I
the
think
end?
he played some. I don't think he played the whole playoff
Yeah,
run.
I don't.
Maybe Tarasenko's the issue.
I think
He
he's playing
played-
like third line right now too. Like, he's not
Yeah.
even playing first line minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean,
He-
one team that has lost an asset and isn't struggling is the Florida Panthers.
dude.
Yes. They've played 4 games without Ekblad and are 4-0.
Wagon confirmed.
They and like going before that, even when Ekblad was still healthy, I think they're like 6 or 7-0 recently. First in the league, all alone at the top. When we talked about Ekblad, I think it would have been last week's episode. And that injury, I was a little on the fence. I was like, I
Both of
don't
you
know what
guys
this
were.
team's gonna do. I mean, they might start dropping here, but nope. Definitely the opposite. So I wouldn't say it necessarily caught me by surprise, because I mean they have plenty of other assets on that team and great coaching and everything, great goaltending. So, but I was a little shaky. So I'm impressed, and I like seeing them do good. So
Yeah. Florida, the Panthers deserve a nice run. They deserve that.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any other news, boys. How about you? Before we get into the hot seat teams, to wrap up the week.
Well, I just wanted to say that you guys were skeptical about Florida playing well with no Ekblad, but I was sitting here touting them.
Touted.
Oh, it's returning. No, I like Florida's a legit team this year.
oh,
That's what I think
fair.
people don't understand is that this team is clicking on all cylinders.
Mhm.
Like they are a legit team. They're getting, Bob hasn't played great, but Drieger has stepped in, been the goaltender that team needs. Barkov, fucking Huberdeau, Hornquist, all these guys are crushing it.
For Hagee, a
For
26-year-old nobody who just comes
Mackenzie
in.
Weegar,
Yeah.
Uyghur, like Yandel has played
Duclair. I don't know if you said him.
unbelievable. No, like the list goes on. So
Yeah,
this is-
dude. They're
this
just
is
like
They're scary this year.
you don't
Yeah.
realize how deep that team is, man.
Yeah.
Like
And
Frank
goes down the
Toronto's playing
list.
well.
They've been
True.
deep for such a long time.
Yeah.
They haven't quite clicked.
And
Yeah.
Barkov has elevated his game. I don't know how, but he just
Fucking
he just dug through
Found
the
a way to get
ceiling and
even
found
better.
another layer.
most underrated player in the NHL. Like no cap.
And it's just like no kids.
no kiss.
But yeah, it's crazy to me how this guy is gonna be that guy where it's like, oh, he's not underrated anymore because like everyone knows he's good. Well, no, he's so good that people don't understand still how good and better he's getting. That he thus is a highly touted centerman.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, should we get into the hot seat teams?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Do you mind if I start?
I would love for you to start.
I
I've been
actually
playing-
really
actually-
mind that.
You do mind it?
No, I'm kidding.
Good. Good. I would have fought through the Zoom call. This week I have the Wild, and I've had them previously, and they did okay, but they're buzzing right now, and I love seeing this team win. So, because I was watching one of their games this weekend, and after it, I'm like, dude, like, how has this team really been doing lately? Because they're just like Minnesota Wild and notoriously boring. Yeah, they're 23-12-2,
Fucking
third in that division,
insane.
and I'm like, where did that come from? So then I did a little digging. Well, in their last 14, they're 9-3-1. That helps that cause. Guys like Greenway, Fiala, and Erickson are giving them solid depth, scoring, and great two-way play. And then this is a weird stat though. So their power play is at 12%, which is the second worst in the entire league, but their PK 85%, good for third best in the league.
Wow.
If their power play could start clicking, that is extremely dangerous. And then the goaltending tandem of Talbot and Kokkonen. Talbot's rocking a 917 save percentage with Kokkonen having a 920 save percentage. So they're just getting both sides of the ice are covered right now. If they figure out that power play team, special teams, oh fellas, I mean they're not gonna pass. They're not gonna pass Colorado, but they've been beating Vegas like it's their day job.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter if they can pass them by the end of this regular season.
No.
Just once they get into playoffs, man, it's a whole new season.
Yeah,
so.
different ball game.
Just like I'm coming for your analogy guy title, you're coming for my stat guy title.
Yeah,
yeah,
that was the most numbers I've said
me.
on this podcast.
I know,
ever.
But no, I completely agree with you. The Wild are another team that has like been decent for a few years. Like they've just haven't clicked. Like
they've been boring, and then you get this exciting electric player in Kaprizov, but like he's really been the only mainstream headline. When I'm looking deeper, and I'm like, bro, a great goaltending tandem. They're getting good defense. I mean, their D-men aren't really known for the points they put up. They're just shut down. That's the core of Dumba, Brodin, Suter, Spurgeon. So like, dude, I love this team. Spurgeon.
It's Spurgeon.
Patrice Spurgeon.
There's only one R. Spurgeon.
No, he's Canadian, so you have to roll the R.
That's
okay.
Yep. So yeah, Minnesota Wild, wagon, electric, not boring anymore. Can't score goals in the power play, won't let power play goals up.
That catches me so much by surprise, dude, because I feel like they have guys that should be able to score on the power play, but like
because they don't really have.
I would have never guessed that.
Kaprizov leads that team in scoring only 31 points. So
it's pretty spread out.
It's just a lot of depth scoring
and with good goaltending too.
Yeah,
helps a lot. So yeah, that's interesting.
Don't need to score goals if you don't let them in.
Can you imagine a Wild Panthers Stanley Cup final?
I would be so happy because I legitimately wouldn't care who won. I would just be so happy one of them won.
Can you imagine a Stanley Cup final with those two teams?
That'd be so weird, but
it'd be
that
so
would probably
weird,
be awful for the league, though. That probably would be terrible for the league.
Well, that's the thing. I'm gonna go off on a little rant tangent right now.
Tangent.
So you see the other three major sports leagues in the US with football, basketball, and baseball. Maybe not so much baseball, but at least for the other two, you see pretty much the same teams in the playoffs or in the championship every single year. Whether it's for basketball, whether it's Golden State, the Lakers, Toronto now, the Raptors look sick. You always see the same teams in the finals, and same with football. Obviously, you saw the Patriots in the Super Bowl every other year for 8 years. The Saints are always in the mix. Green Bay of the last 2 years.
The Chiefs now.
The Chiefs obviously 2 years in a row in the Super Bowl. I feel like hockey's one of the only major sports leagues that you see a different set of teams.
It's a sport with the most parity.
I was just gonna say good league parity. I'm learning about that in my sports economics class right now.
Which I love. It's so cool to see a different team every year essentially wins the cup.
Yeah.
How many years had it been since when the Penguins won back-to-back in 16, 17.
16, 17.
Almost 20.
Like,
because
when was the last
one
time?
was the Devils. It was
Yeah.
either the Devils or the Red Wings in that like late 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
like
it's
you,
like 18, 20 years, something like that.
yeah. And I know obviously the Kings
And the Blackhawks had those runs, but
had those, that
Mhm.
6, 7, 8 years where they were kind of back and forth.
but they were still pretty much facing a different team from
They-
the East every
yeah.
year.
Exactly.
Kings were playing the Devils, Blackhawks playing the Bruins, and like
Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
So that's what I know that was a little tangent, but imagine trying to think of what a Florida Panthers and a Minnesota Wild Stanley Cup final would look like. It's sick. I think
It
that's
was a
so
rant.
cool.
It was a
Yeah.
rant that needed to be said.
Yes.
You said
Yeah.
it. So what's your hot seat team?
Oh, my hot take. Okay. Yeah. So I have the Arizona Coyotes,
Mm.
okay.
who Raph, I know you were giving them a lot of love earlier in the year.
Oh, I was.
And they are rolling right now. So they've
Mhm.
won 3 in a row and they look good. Aiden Hill has been an absolute superstar. Sick name, by the way.
Doesn't he spell it like
Fucking spells it.
Adin?
Yeah, like
Weirdo. Adin.
Freak.
um
Hi, Adin.
but no, he's 7-4-1. His goals against 266, not great, but save percentage is 913, which is pretty average, pretty good. But they look sick. Phil Kessel has been flying out there. He had a hat trick a week and a half ago. He's been buzzing. Clayton Keller has easily been one of their best players, especially on the power play. So they play
Chikrin just had
Yeah, he got his
Chikrin-
first
he-
hat trick, I think. I was just gonna say that.
Chicharin.
fantasy team.
Oh, nice.
So they
Okay.
play LA. I think it's either tonight or tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday night. And then they play Vegas twice and Colorado. So I don't think they'll win all 4. I'll give them LA. I'll give them one of the Vegas games, and I'll give them Colorado too. I think they pull 3-1 out of
Ooh.
that
That's
Okay.
fine.
with how hot they are. Yeah.
And lastly,
Last but
Um,
certainly not
Brett
least.
Tiblets.
Do we? I was gonna mention a player too after mine. If we want to.
I don't have a player this week. To be
That's
honest. I
fine.
mean,
I'm still
wait till after the
gonna
deadline.
I'm gonna mention one after mine, and if you want to, AIDS too. But
Yeah.
But anyway, my team, my hot seat team, I'm going with the Devils this week.
Mhm.
They're obviously not in a position to push for the playoffs here. I mean, a miracle would have to happen if they're gonna pull that off. But them and Buffalo are at the bottom of the division, and they have 2 games against Buffalo this week and 2 against the Penguins. So, I mean, I'm just going with them, hoping they can win both those Buffalo games, as well as one of those Penguins games. I think would be big for them. Also, because I just want to see points taken away from the Penguins as much as possible. That would be
As
nice.
a Blues
So,
fan, yes, please.
I'm rooting for the Devils this week to go at least 3-1. If they drop one to Buffalo, that'd be embarrassing. I really hope that doesn't happen. But
Wagon.
yeah, I like that team. Some good young guys over there. Ty Smith, little rookie action, playing unreal, and Blackwood too. I know you've talked about him before, Raph, being an underrated goaltender. He's
So
having a great
nasty.
year.
So
He decides to become prime Martin Brodeur every time he plays the Bruins, but
yeah, literally.
we won't talk about that. So I'm rocking with the Devils this week. And then I also picked a player too, who I almost picked them as my team as well, but I think I've done them before, so I wanted to go with a new one. But my hot seat player, I'm going with John Klingberg this week.
Okay.
A little
Nice.
defenseman action. I think I've done a forward like every week this whole
Mm.
time. I don't think I've ever done a defenseman. So I'm going with John Klingberg. He, with the exception of their most recent game where he didn't have any points, it was at least a 4-game point streak. It might have been more, where he was putting up at least 1 assist each game. And this week they have 4 games, Blackhawks twice, then Panthers and Preds each once. And they're a team that obviously, because of COVID stuff in the beginning of the year, have a few games in hand on everyone in that division, and they're sitting at 6th, a few points behind Chicago, and then about 5 behind Nashville. Like I said, with 3 games in hand, though. So, I mean, personally, I'm not counting them out of pulling off a playoff spot in that division.
No, not at all.
And I think that'd be exciting to see happen. I mean, I like the Stars. I like a lot of their players. So
Oh,
I think John Klingberg's gotta get it going this week for that team.
very good
Yeah,
picks.
that's
What about you, Weeds? Your
Yeah.
player?
Well, I was just saying that's another team that like if you're gonna get hot, if you're gonna get good, right now you have to, or you're not gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it back to New Jersey though.
Oh, you're throwing it back.
I'm gonna give it to Jack Hughes. So Jack
Ooh.
Hughes he's
My
got
shirt right now.
17 points this year, which I personally I've liked his game. I think he looks
Yeah.
he's kind of come into his game a little bit. Like he looks pretty good, but point wise, he's really, really struggled. So
Yeah.
in his last, he had an assist on Sunday night, but other than that, he hadn't had a point since March 18th. That's like
Oh.
8 or 9 games he didn't have a point,
Tough.
and he played all of them.
Yeah.
He didn't have a
Yeah.
single point, which is tough. But like I said, I like his game. I think he looks confident. He's playing with poise, and I like to see that out of a 19-year-old kid. And I don't think the Devils could make the playoffs at this point. I think they're too far down unless they get hot, unless Jack Hughes lifts them up, maybe.
And,
But
like,
I would like to see I'd like to see this 19-year-old kid start putting the puck in the back of the net a little bit more.
That's like what Gouldy was talking about, dude. And he was just like, dude, like these kids aren't busts. Like you just know
Yeah.
these kids are far and above players their age. It just takes a little bit of time. And he saw firsthand what Jack Hughes can do, along with guys like Zegras and Lafreniere. So it's only about time. No one's a McDavid coming out of the gate.
Yeah.
People have to remember that. But yeah, I don't have a player this week. I hope every player has fun this week. That's my thing. Yeah.
Every player's on your list.
Everyone gets COVID. I lose somehow. I don't get this. But yeah, I think that about wraps up episode 14, boys. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. We're definitely going to be getting him back on, and probably some more interviews coming along the way soon. Tune in for the next episode. It's going to be our first ever live episode when all the boys are together. Trust me, you'll see the chemistry there. Our Bluetooths will just be in sync the whole time.
The wires are going to be crossed.
Yeah, we'll be watching the final game for the NCAA championship for the boys. So yeah, in the meantime, enjoy the lovely weather, wear your mask, and just have a fun weekend. Get some dunks, get a cold brew, treat yourself. All right, peace,
Yes,
everyone.
sir.